All right. Hey, everyone. This is my first time doing something like this. It's a little disorienting hearing my own voice, but um, yeah, I want to describe my painting called Coffee Shop. And welcome to the channel. Welcome to Cruz and Color. I am so excited because I'm such a yapper, and I think long form content is what I'm really going to find a lot of happiness in. But basically, yeah, I want to just, I'm a little tipsy, sorry. But basically, I want to describe, because I'm nervous, I want to describe the process of abstract, and how, to me, it actually has form. And it had form when I was making it. But let me talk a little softer. I could also be an ASMR channel. Okay, so here's the abstract art I'm going to talk about. Okay, anyway. This is normally how I do it. And there's actually, like this section, there's actually form even within this block. So there's like, I do a light brown, red. Like it's all balanced. So if I do like red in one corner, I'll do red in the next corner. Um, and let's see. Anyway, I also write all over my work because I am a yapper and I have a lot to say and I have a lot of thoughts. And so yeah, I write some of them are really funny, some of them are not really funny, but you know what I mean. Some of them are funny, some of them are really serious, some of them are just like eat bagels more. Like I was eating a really good bagel or something and I'm like, hey, bagels are really good. Like we need a stuff like that. Like sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's deep, but I have like call your mom please, you know, or I have I really want to be remembered, but I think we'll all be remembered about the same amount, which I don't know might be controversial, but I love writing on my work. Probably my favorite part. I usually write at the very end, but I'll show you later. But on the back of this is all of. I'll show you right now, real quick. Boom, ba doom. Yeah. So I'll go over what those say in a bit. But yeah, let me see. This took me like, they usually take me 2 days, maybe three, sometimes a week, but like around that time. Sometimes 8 hours usually is like the most standard. Like I'm sitting and I'm working and I'm just getting it done. 8 hours is like the fastest with something I'm like proud of. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. Next one. So in that case, I try to get I've done like two a day. If, you know, there's like 16 waking hours to the day. Um, I actually hate this circle, but it's too late now and that's life. Something about this peach, and I, well, first of all, it's not even, but that's okay. But something about the peach, just reminded me so much of like nibbles that it bothered me. And up here, these are three nips to me. But yeah, I just didn't like them. I said, will anyone read this? And I said, damn right they will. Um, just kind of showing like I have a varying, I think that's a sign of something too. It's like a varying self-confidence. I hope that's not a narcissist thing. But yeah, I literally think I'm either the shit or like not sometimes. So I was like, will anyone read this? And like, I have a lot of self doubt. Will anyone read this? Damn right they will, you know? Um, and I wrote that just like right after. I was like, hey, you know what? Why am I questioning? Why am I even having thoughts like that? Um, oh, this is kind of interesting. Can you imagine where you'd be? Hear me out. Can you imagine where you'd be if you never got over the trauma of your own birth? Um, so yeah, that's just like um, the thought of we've already gone through one of the most traumatic things. Um, so that's to say you're going to be fine. Like, can you imagine where you'd be if you never got over the trauma of your own birth? Like, we've already all gone through so much, and yet we prevail. So, yeah, I told my friend that, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Well, it's traumatic, but can you imagine if you never got over that?" So take that with things that happen now. Just kind of get over it. I don't know. Easier said than done, but yeah. I cuss a lot, and some of them, like, honestly, fuck this shit. I don't know why. I don't know what the shit was pertaining to, but I said, get over it, survive, prevail. Yeah, there's an overall theme of what was going on. I think I was either sad that I felt. No, this was dad stuff. This was a conflict with my dad, and I was like, just trauma in general, dealing with trauma. I wrote, is this doing anything for you? And then I wrote, throughout your entire life until you die, one thing's for certain, you will always have yourself. Might as well like yourself. You know, and I felt that way since I was a kid, because I would play with myself a lot. I had 2 older sisters, and I would just roam around the backyard and play with myself and play by myself, I should say. That too, but, so yeah, I kind of adopted this mindset, like, you gotta like yourself. Like, I like hanging out with myself. I like, I see, like, it's weird. I see it as 2 separate people. Like, honestly, when I'm by myself, I see my soul enjoying my body, which is weird to say, but, or my mind enjoying like, I really feel like, it's hard to describe, but I don't feel alone when I'm alone. My soul is enjoying its time being Sydney. It's how I feel. Like, my soul feels separate than my body. I don't know. That's how I see it. So when I'm alone, I'm like, oh, I'm enjoying being Sydney. I'm enjoying being Sydney Cruz. I'm enjoying being myself. Oh, my little soul. And I could be someone else completely different. I could, I don't know. That might be too deep, but that's how I feel. Let's see. Yeah, what if I get these to 11 minutes? That would be so cool. I definitely think I can. Anyway, this is funny because I write a lot of like, oh, who cares? Who really cares? And I write like, oh, I actually care a fair deal. But I said I equally don't care and also deeply care what people think of me at the same time. Which is true. I said, oh, I made a good portion of this partially drunk. Does that make it more or less impressive? Yeah, honestly, does it? Let's see. If I was thinking of, I think it makes it less. Because actually I found out that Dali was sober. Like, all his crazy art he's made, he was completely sober, and or not, I don't know about completely, but he really wanted people to know that he was sober, so that they couldn't chalk up his art to like psychedelics, you know? I keep getting texts, my bad. Let's see what else. Okay, I can flip it. I think it's time to flip it. Yeah, I always sign in the bottom right, just so you always know what spot to look for. I don't like it hidden. I mean, that would be kind of cool too, but it's like, no. After all this work, I want to be like known. Also, I put Cruz. I don't put Sydney. I want to be androgynous with how my art is perceived, because there's a lot of like inherent, misogyny still. It's like, oh, a man did that. Oh, he was thinking so much deeper. A woman did that. Oh, that's pretty. Whatever. Not always the case. I know, but this is one layer of protection I'm putting for myself. Cruz, and that sounds like a man, doesn't it? But it's me. Kind of sucks though. Cruz is used for a lot of stuff. Like, I have a band, Cruise Control, and there's like 5 other bands called Cruise Control, or like probably like 7 other. It's so hard to find my band page. Kind of sucks, but I like the name so much. But obviously, so do other people. But that's cool. It's okay. Who cares? Oh, I have a pet bird. I don't know if you hear her, but I hide her feathers in my paintings where they blend in. And there's one right here. And I think, yeah, it's pretty thick. You can really feel I invite people to really touch my art too. Like, I spray them with perfume sometimes. I want all the senses involved. So yeah, I spray with perfume sometimes, or I smell a perfume and I think, what would that look like? And I make it. Um, yeah, this one I didn't like until it was almost done. And then I was like, oh, this is so free and so fun. But I was really stressing out um, on this one for a while because it didn't follow. I was really trying, this is my normal form, this section. And then I was like, no, really break free from it. But then when I did, there were like two separate sections and I didn't feel like it flowed enough. But now I like it. People like it. It's called Coffee Shop. I feel like something that would be in Starbucks in like the 2000s or something, you know. Okay, let me explain the back of it. This is so much fun, by the way. I'm like, I should get paid to like filibuster, honestly. I'm like so good at filling time. Not to brag. No, I'm just a yapper. I just have a lot of thoughts. Anyway. Oh, okay. Here's another thing I do. Every color of the painting, I splotch it on the back so that I can just see the palette. Like it's pretty just to appreciate the colors for what they are. I'm also into like astrology and stuff, so I wrote like full moon in Libra, like exactly what's going on at the time. And I guess I thought I finished this on the 9th, and I crossed that out and wrote the 12th. So I guess I was supposed to finish it that night. That's usually what happens. Anyway, yeah, I had a lot of like parental thoughts during this time. These are some of my favorite thoughts because they're a lot longer. But I wrote like some of the most impressive people had parents who were impossible to please. And I think of like Michael Jackson and Beyonce's dads were both like very demanding, to say the least. I mean, Michael Jackson's like actually abusive, but anyway, it's this like parental figure that's like impossible to please. I notice a theme with like a lot of successful people or a lot of maybe just artists, but anyway, that's just how I felt at the time about my dad. So, I had a little Ziploc bag with the perfume on it on the back right here. So I said, I try to make this painting look how this perfume smelled to me. Feel free to sniff. So I had it in a Ziploc bag for people to open up and smell. I wrote, it's impossible to copy someone who's uniquely themselves without looking unoriginal as fuck and lame. You always win by being authentic. Like, who are you fooling by stealing personalities or by... And also people... I actually think I heard, like, authenticity is, like, the highest... aside from love. It's, like, love and then authenticity, like, truth, basically, is one of the most... like, the highest vibration and the most, like... I think the easiest to recognize, like, when people are being authentic. So you always win by being authentic. I said, remember MySpace. What a trip. My top 8 was so hurtful. What the fuck? Ranking your friends, that's wild. That's so true. We got me and it was like the three of us. We were little like neighborhood friends. And we would get our feelings hurt so often. It was after MySpace was popular. It was in between MySpace and Facebook. Like nothing was popular and we just wanted to have a thing. And yeah, we used this, and we would go home after like a little debate or a little argument or something, and we would re-rank our friends. It was so hurtful. Anyway, this is one of my first bigger canvases, so I said sometimes you might need a bigger canvas, stage, or film roll to be taken more seriously or appreciated. Your art has always been enjoyable, just easier to consume now. And that's exactly how I feel with YouTube and doing longer form content. It's always been enjoyable. It's just like this is the format that is easier to consume. I was stressing out over editing this down to even 30 seconds. I'm like, there's so much to say about this. I have so much to say in general, but I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do the YouTube thing. Some of this painting I really don't like. I do, however, like that I tried something new, so it's okay. I'm such a yapper, honestly. I can fill the whole back of this canvas if I wanted to. And that was the first time I started doing that. You could see that my canvas is on the floor right there, which I'm, going to describe later. But the whole backs are full. And I just write until I can't, The only reason you can let haters get to you is if you hold their opinion higher than your own. When it's actually so lame to give a shit about other people's lives, and they're lame by default. I had a lot of feelings during this one. This kind of looks like the back of a yearbook now. And I wrote Hags. Have a great summer. Here's a good one. If you have weird, judgmental family members, just know it's more weird of them to not automatically support their own kind. And part of their rejection is rooted in self-hatred, I'd say. Yeah. I was looking for this one. I get so irritated when people assume playfulness and childlike wonder is synonymous with stupidity or naivety, when I believe they're so advanced, they're tapped back into what it's really always been about. That's how I feel. And I wrote, I have a lot of feelings, lol. This is like one of my mantras because I just, I consider myself happy-go-lucky. It takes a lot for me to I'm not a crier. It takes a lot for me to really cry. I just if anything, I'll just go out and dance. Or I don't usually wallow. Even when I guess maybe should. Maybe I wallow. I rot for sure. But I'm not a crier. I get angry more than I cry, but actually anger is unresolved sadness. So I should cry. Crying is a better first, it is the root emotion. And anger is when that sadness is unresolved. So what does that say about me? I don't know. I find anger more action oriented. I find more, I don't know. I find more power in anger if I'm really, let's say if I'm mad about my state of existing, I'm no, it shouldn't be this way, blah, 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 the government, blah, blah, I just find more energy in anger or passion than sadness. So that would be my first, it would be happiness and then anger. Or I guess maybe not that close together, but last thing I'll say, I said this one was honestly not as enjoyable to make until I was 80% done. Sometimes the commitment and work you put into something is the very reason it's so beautiful in the end. And a small lesson in commitment. So I write down what I've learned through this process and what I want to keep doing with the rest of my paintings and stuff like that. But yeah, the commitment is sometimes the reason why it's so beautiful in the end. Even though I didn't... I almost gave up on it, and I had it sitting in my room. That's probably what this was. I had it sitting in my room, and I couldn't stand looking at it. And I was like, God, I hate this. I want to start over, but it's such a big canvas. I had to finish it. And at the time, it was the biggest I've done at the time. I do slightly bigger ones now, but I was like, God, this looks so bad. I can't stand it. But I have to do it, and then I forced myself to. And I have an 80% rule with that, where sometimes it's not fun until you're 80% done. Let me think about that for a sec. It's not fun until you're 80% done. I had a more thought out thing for that. Let me see. Or sometimes it's the opposite, but it's an 80% rule. Let me think of it real quick. So sometimes I have a lot of fun until it's 80% done. And then you get into the finer details and you're oh, I hate this. This is so meticulous and not as free and fun. I have to really focus, and it's stressful. Or the other way around. Or you're throwing, let's see, you have a lot of fun until, or it's grueling up until the very end when things are finally coming together and finally starting to look like a dog or like a face, or you're oh, look how fun. Oh my God, it looks like my dog Marty, or oh, cool. And that's the 80% rule. So I have not a rule, but a thing with that. And I was working on a mural, and I had a friend. I just realized I recorded this whole thing on my bad side. That sucks. This is my better side. I'm like, duh, my art. Anyway. um, yeah. Don't I look like an art teacher though? My face, like when I started wearing my apron more. Well, I'm mainly a singer, but I'm a singer, yeah. But yeah, it's so funny. I put on an apron. I have pictures of myself in my apron and painting, and I was like, don't I? I think it's my nose, but I'm like, don't I look like an art chick? I just thought that was funny how people's faces like tend to look like what they do, and anyway, yeah. So that is coffee shop. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. Oh yeah. So I wrote this one honestly not enjoyable to make until I was 80% done, and I said, P.S. I finally had fun when I stopped caring, which is kind of a lesson in not caring and commitment. Let's see how many colors are in this one. Last thing, I guess. We have